After Xiao Yan accepted the challenge to fight Wang Chen, Feng Zun Zhe was also happy after seeing Xiao Yan accept the challenge. Although he could not estimate Xiao Yan's true strength, he was also very confident in Wang Chen's ability, who had already advanced half a step to the Dozong level, after entering the blood pool. Feng Zun Zhe warned Wang Chen to resolve the problem, because it was caused by him. Feng Zun Zhe also warned Wang Chen that he would be punished if he lost to Xiao Yan. Hearing this, Wang Chen trembled slightly at the threat from his teacher. Wang Chen assured his teacher that he would definitely defeat Xiao Yan, who had humiliated his Yellow Spring Pavilion. Meanwhile, Lin Yan was worried about Xiao Yan, who had stepped forward. Although Lin Yan felt that Xiao Yan's strength was much stronger than his, Lin Yan knew clearly that Wang Chen's strength was at the peak of Do Huan, and he knew that Wang Chen was an extremely cruel person. Lin Yan, who valued friendship greatly, he would not remain silent if something happened to Xiao Yan. Meanwhile, Wang Chen approached Xiao Yan and reminded Xiao Yan again, if he admitted defeat and kowtowed 3 times to his teacher, Wang Chen would let Xiao Yan leave there. However, Xiao Yan ignored Wang Chen's words and smiled coldly. Then Xiao Yan clenched his hand, and his douqi immediately surged out of his body. Instantly, his douqi gathered in his hand, and formed an energy beam sword. Meanwhile, killing intent surged in Wang Chen's eyes, when Xiao Yan ignored his words. Wang Chen quickly sped up and immediately appeared behind Xiao Yan. He immediately launched his dagger towards Xiao Yan's neck and heart. However, Xiao Yan quickly parried the dagger with his energy sword. Then Wang Chen launched his attack towards Xiao Yan again, but Xiao Yan was still able to parry the attack. Xiao Yan also said that Wang Chen's ability was mediocre. Hearing that, Wang Chen said that it was just a warm-up. Then black douqi surged out of Wang Chen's body. His douqi was like a black pillar and shot into the sky. It was clear that Wang Chen's douqi strength had exceeded the strength at the peak of Do Huan, and could be considered half a step into the Dozong level. Although Wang Chen had already reached half a step into the Dozong level, Xiao Yan was still relaxed when facing Wang Chen. Then Wang Chen launched another powerful attack towards Xiao Yan. Seeing this, Xiao Yan immediately used the 6 combined body flow master technique to block Wang Chen's attack. On the other hand, Feng Zun Zhe's face turned gloomy. He felt Xiao Yan's strength continue to increase, and in a short time Xiao Yan's strength approached Wang Chen's strength. Even Xiao Yan's strength continued to increase. Feng Zun Zhe, Zun Zhe, Zun Zhe, and the others were immediately shocked, because Xiao Yan really hid his true strength. And if that continued, then the one who would be in trouble would be Wang Chen. Xiao Yan's aura, that had already exceeded Wang Chen's, surged out. Then Xiao Yan used a new technique from his beam sword, the 6 combined fire. Immediately a greenish-brown flame attached to the tip of his energy beam sword, and then Xiao Yan immediately launched his attack towards Wang Chen's attack. Meanwhile, Tang Ying, Mu Qingwan, and even Feng Qing'er were immediately shocked when they felt that the mysterious person's energy was actually an elite Dozong. Then Feng Qing'er felt the familiar feeling from the mysterious person getting stronger. On the other hand, Lin Yan also did not expect that Xiao Yan had actually reached the Dozong level. He clearly remembered that Xiao Yan's strength was still at the peak of Do Wang when he left Xiao Yan in the Jiama Empire. However, after a few short years, Xiao Yan had actually advanced to the Dozong level. While he had now advanced to the 4-star Do Huang level, he had obtained it after receiving the inheritance from his ancestors. Lin Yan finally understood why Xiao Yan dared to challenge Wang Chen. Meanwhile, Feng Zun Zhe's expression became increasingly gloomy. His gaze scornfully stared at Xiao Yan, and this was the first time he had misjudged someone else. Likewise, Feng Zun Zhe, Zun Zhe, and Zun Zhe, the 3 of them were shocked by this. Although a Dozong was not worthy of them acting like that, the Dozong in front of them was still so young, only around 20 years old. Being able to reach such a level at such a young age meant that the person's talent was either extraordinary, or he had a very strong background behind him. Zun Zhe thought that Xiao Yan was no ordinary person, and Wang Chen was no match for him. Hearing this, Feng Zun Zhe said that it was not over yet. Meanwhile, in the battle arena, Chen did not expect that the person was actually a dozone, and his expression immediately turned gloomy. If he was defeated by Xiao Yan, Chen knew very well what punishment would await him after returning to the Yellow Spring Pavilion. Chen, who did not want that to happen, immediately used the Yellow Spring Blood Skill technique. This technique was an extremely powerful Do technique from the Yellow Spring Pavilion. Chen's aura suddenly soared, and a pitch-black energy spread out from his right hand. Chen launched his black arm attack towards Xiao Yan. Seeing this, Xiao Yan launched his attack again, which immediately collided with Chen's attack. When the collision occurred, Xiao Yan's heavenly fire clump was channeled into the energy beam sword, and was immediately shot towards Chen. Instantly an explosion was heard once again, and Chen's body was instantly thrown into the arena. Then Chen, who was already injured, tried to stand up, and a mouthful of fresh blood came out of his mouth. Chen felt the pain in his body, and just realized that a clump of extremely hot green fire was in his body. Then Xiao Yan appeared and looked at Chen, who was still alive. After that, Xiao Yan looked at Feng Zun Zhe, who had a gloomy expression. Feng Zun Zhe stood up with his voice filled with anger and killing intent. He said that Xiao Yan had really surprised him. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan saluted Feng Zun Zhe, and said that he had fulfilled his agreement, and he took his leave from there. However, Chen suddenly told Xiao Yan to stop. Xiao Yan turned towards Chen, who was struggling to stand up. Xiao Yan asked if Chen still wanted to fight with him. Meanwhile, Chen spat out another mouthful of blood from his mouth. Then he smiled at Xiao Yan, and said that he did not expect that Xiao Yan would advance to the Do Zone level within 3 months, after entering the blood pool. Chen, who could recognize that the mysterious person was Xiao Yan, because Chen recognized Xiao Yan's heavenly flame when they exchanged blows earlier. Instantly everyone in the place was shocked when they heard that the mysterious person was Xiao Yan, who recently had a conflict with the Wind Lightning Pavilion, and managed to escape from Btth. Tang Ying and Mu Qingluan, who were in the VIP seats, did not expect that Xiao Yan would actually come there. Even Feng Qing'er also did not expect that Xiao Yan had the courage to come there. Meanwhile, Lei Zunzhe, who was shocked, asked Btth beside him whether the mysterious person was really Xiao Yan. On the other hand, Feng Zun Zhe looked happy when he saw Lei Zunzhe's anger. He did not expect that it was Xiao Yan, who had a conflict with the Wind Lightning Pavilion. Meanwhile, Feng Zun Zhe and Zun Zhe were also shocked by Xiao Yan's true identity. However, the two of them remained silent, and did not interfere with the Wind Lightning Pavilion's matter. Then Btth stood up and clenched his fists. Because of the previous matter with Xiao Yan, he was scolded by Lei Zunzhe and mocked by the other two Wind Lightning Pavilion leaders for not being able to catch Xiao Yan. Btth glanced at Xiao Yan in the arena, and told Xiao Yan to take off his mask. Meanwhile, Xiao Yan did not expect that his identity would be recognized by Lin Yan approached Xiao Yan and asked what Xiao Yan was going to do now. Then Xiao Yan said not to worry. Even so, Xiao Yan thought that the two of them would not be able to escape from there with their current strength. Since his identity was already known, Xiao Yan took off the mask on his face. Then Xiao Yan glanced at Btth and asked if Btth wanted to attack him again today. Instantly, Btth's expression changed and was filled with anger after Xiao Yan took off his mask. In an instant, Btth's body disappeared. On the other hand, Xiao Yan's expression immediately changed when he saw Btth's body disappear, and he immediately pushed Lin Yan away from there. Not long after, Btth appeared behind Xiao Yan and immediately launched a claw attack on Xiao Yan. However, Xiao Yan's body suddenly shot and avoided the attack. Btth did not expect Xiao Yan's strength to increase after several months had passed. Hearing that, Xiao Yan said that his Wind Lightning Pavilion could only bully younger people, and relied on his reputation to bully others. Then Xiao Yan laughed and glanced at Lei Zunzhe in the VIP seat. Xiao Yan also mocked Lei Zunzhe and said that if Lei Zunzhe thought that Xiao Yan's conflict with his Wind Lightning Pavilion was very big, Xiao Yan suggested that Lei Zunzhe capture Xiao Yan himself, because with his strength that had reached Dozun, he could easily capture Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan's words immediately shocked the people there. They did not expect Xiao Yan to dare to provoke Lei Zunzhe. However, some smart people thought that Xiao Yan's actions would benefit Xiao Yan. Because by saying that, Lei Zunzhe would not dare to act against a younger person, with the status and reputation he had now. Jian Zunzhe glanced at Lei Zunzhe and laughed. He said that Xiao Yan was really cunning and very smart. Meanwhile, Lei Zunzhe said that Xiao Yan did not need to say that, because he himself did not need to act to capture Xiao Yan. Hearing that, Xiao Yan said that even though Lei Zunzhe would not act, the Wind Lightning Pavilion would still oppress the younger person by sending Fei Tian. And if Fei Tian failed, there were still the western and southern leaders to capture him. Hearing this, the leader of the West Wind Pavilion said that he and the leader of the South would not interfere with the matter of the North Pavilion Fei Tian. Meanwhile, Fei Tian, who did not care about his reputation that would be bad, he attacked Xiao Yan again. Seeing this, Xiao Yan did not expect that Fei Tian did not care about his reputation that would be bad. On the other hand, Lin Yan shouted and told Xiao Yan to run away from there. Then Xiao Yan realized that he would not be able to win against Fei Tian, because his strength was still far different from Fei Tian. Xiao Yan had no other choice but to trust Feng Zun Zhe. Then Xiao Yan paid his respects to Feng Zun Zhe, who was in the VIP seat, and asked Feng Zun Zhe to see something. Meanwhile, Feng Zun Zhe was surprised when he saw Xiao Yan suddenly talking to him. Feng Zun Zhe also said that it was Xiao Yan's problem with the Wind Lightning Pavilion, and he had nothing to do with their problem. Moreover, Feng Zun Zhe, who did not know Xiao Yan, he would not take the risk of offending the Wind Lightning Pavilion just to help Xiao Yan, who he did not know. Then Xiao Yan took off Yao Lao's ring on his finger, and threw it towards Feng Zun Zhe. Feng Zun Zhe grabbed the ring and was immediately shocked when he saw that the ring belonged to his friend Yao Lao. Not long after, Feng Zun Zhe immediately took action and stopped Fei Tian, who was about to attack Xiao Yan.